Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be decorating an apartment for a servo, which is a bit of an unconventional thing because servos are very different from human sims in the sense that they don't have the same needs. They have a fun need, a social need, a charge need, which is similar to sleep, and I forgot what it's called, but they need to be like maintained so that they don't malfunction and such. So I wanted this to be like a workshop in a sense. So this is the kitchen, quote unquote, which is really just a lot of counters and a few computers. And at the moment, I don't have a computer in there. There's that research machine from Discovery University because I really wanted to have a bunch of stuff from that pack since that's where servos come from. And I wanted this to be a space where the servo could keep themselves like tuned and functioning well. So that's why I have this um, robotics station, but I also wanted to include the microscope because I wanted this to be very much like a lab, and since servos can be upgraded so that they are better at getting skills and maybe you can have them become gardeners or nannies or this kind of stuff. I wanted this to be like a very scientific servo who really wants to excel at their career, which would probably be an engineer since there's that robotics station, but there's also that computer so that the servo could be a programmer if they would prefer that. And I really liked the idea of the servo being really into robotics, and they would make a lot of other servos and robots, such as these ones from that same pack, which there's like cleaner bots and party bots, and one is a fixer bot even. So I really like the idea of the servo just making a lot of robots to surround themselves with them and maybe sell some of them. And I just really liked the idea of these bunch of servos and robots living in this small apartment, which is actually the smallest apartment that comes in The Sims by default. So yeah, just like that. And since servos have different needs, they don't really need to sleep on a bed or anything. They can just charge wherever they stand. They just kind of turn off and stay there, or I think they probably can do it sitting down. You really could have any number of servos in here. Well, you could have 8 if you don't have mods. And yeah, I just thought that it would be a very fun household to play with. So I decided to add a bunch of these pots on these shelves from the Blooming Rooms kit, which are supposed to be like greenhouse shelves. So I thought that it matched this industrial look that I was going for. And by the way, this isn't a cheap apartment by any means, even if it doesn't really look expensive. Some of this stuff, such as that research machine that I am using in here, is pretty expensive, so it's kind of like 40,000 simoleons for this super tiny apartment, which is kind of ridiculous, but I think that it's still a fun idea to try out. And there's a few things that I wish that I had included that I didn't end up doing because I wasn't feeling so well and I didn't have a lot of time because I am busy with school and such. But I still liked some of the things that I included, such as this gaming tablet. I would have preferred to have the tablet that comes with Eco Lifestyle, which is for, I forget the name of that career, but it's like a sort of ecological engineer. So that would have been a fun thing to add, and I probably would have preferred to add a laptop instead of this like very retro computer, but I mean, it still works, it's still a computer, it's fine. And I thought it was kind of fun to add these um like medicine lab machine thing from Cats and Dogs because it looks very scientific. I don't know if you would want your servos to be veterinarians, but it really is there mostly for the vibes. So yeah, I thought that it would be a fun household to have and maybe make robot parties. So I wanted to have a semi-normal living room. There's a few gaming consoles in there, so your servos should be able to have their fun need perfectly taken care of. And I also wanted to add some of these like trash and stuff in this more like sciencey area. So I added this bunch of trash really from the werewolves pack as well as these plants are. They are also from that pack, and they added, I think it's a pile of robotic stuff when maybe a servo dies, I think. So I decided to layer those and to have this be a space that wasn't so neat because I don't think workshops are super neat. So that's why I have some of these more industrial stuff from werewolves in here. I also wanted to have these, I think it's a computer drive. I don't really know, but that's something from the base game, and those plants are also from there. And so I just didn't want this to look like very neat or anything, even though this apartment building is very beautiful and it's kind of fancy once you fix it. And I wanted to have it fixed because of the door and how it looks a bit more futuristic. That's why I also added this LED strip lighting in this kitchen area. It's not really a kitchen, but I did add a mini fridge in case you would want for some reason to have a human sim. They wouldn't be able to take care of their needs very well. There's no toilet, but there's that mini fridge. And another thing that I added was those umbrella racks or umbrellas from seasons next to the door, because if you have seasons and it rains, your servos could break down and die. So yeah, I didn't want that to be much of a risk. Um, but I suppose it would make for a fun and chaotic gameplay, so you still have that option of just eliminating that. But yeah, you could really have a human sim in here also and have them suffer because there's no toilet, but I suppose it would be kind of funny to have a toilet instead of one of these chairs in the living room. I don't know. Um, that is pretty chaotic, but you could, so yeah. Maybe you would just prefer to have a servo in here, or maybe just not play in here at all. But if you would want to download this, it's going to be on the gallery under my ID, which is Verania. I am not sure if I'm going to be able to upload this when this video comes out because I'm going to be busy for these next few days. But yeah, I am just adding some finishing touches, some more industrial stuff. I added a trash can, but then later I decided to swap it out for the trash can that gives you money because that looks a bit more uh, techy, I suppose. And I also wanted to add these metal decorations from City Living so that there was a bit more of an interesting look to this space, because right now it has those blinds which aren't very interesting at all. They are from Discovery University, so I decided to keep them in other areas of these apartments. And I also decided to add this electricity box and an air conditioning unit from For Rent, because I just wanted to have this be a bit more interesting and to look like it really had a bunch of technological stuff and electronics. I should have added that room back or vacuum from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, but I forgot about it. But I did remember to add these dividers from City Living, and I think that they look a lot more interesting than those blinds did, and it still looks like it would give you some privacy, and they are robots, they don't really need a lot of privacy, I suppose. But that's really going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.